Hey guys, it's Angel from Weekly Welcome Mat, here to talk to you this week about how to coordinate Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace class, week 2, relating with money. So thank you for joining us. I am Angel. This is my channel, Weekly Welcome Mat, where we normally talk about real estate, buying it, selling it, renting it, living better in it. But we're taking a detour, as I've said before, and we are going to talk about how to coordinate Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace class. And this is week 2. This week, we're going to talk about if you're a nerd, if you're a free spirit. We're going to hear from Rachel, which is awesome. And one of the things that's really cool is, and the way that Rachel and Dave teach this is that everybody is bent a certain way. And it's not a plus or a minus. It's just figuring it out. And it's really fun. Dave does all the teaching and teaches all the, all the ins and outs and everything like that. But what's really awesome is when you get to hear from Rachel, and she talks about how to grow up Ramsey, right? And what they did and how it all worked for them. And really, so many of us look back on how we were raised and we think, geez, oh Pete, if we had been taught this when we were younger, can you imagine, right? So this is where we get to actually hear from somebody who was taught this way along the way as she grew up, and she's now married and doesn't have debt and is living her life applying these principles as she's learned them through being raised this way. So at this point, as a coordinator, is to celebrate the successes. So you want to see who's gotten a hold of week 1 and if they've done their baby step 1 and if they're ready and they're fired up and they're engaged, because that's going to tell you if they're going to be engaged all the way through. Remember, we're building. And all of these are going to be put on top of each other, and they're getting the tools in their tool belt, right? So this is a really great class to see who has done their budget, if they downloaded every dollar, if they're just kind of like, what was I supposed to do? Bring them in. It's still early. You can still rally them. Remember, you've got other people that might not have been at week 1 and they're in week 2. So you need to make sure you're rallying them and getting them engaged. Presumably, you've done your snapshot where you've gotten to see their non-mortgage debt, their credit cards open, how much liquid cash they have available, right? And their emotions tied to where they are at this stage of the game. It is powerful. Let me tell you, this is a powerful moment, because when you get to week 9 and you see how much progress you've made, oh my word, it is going to be quite a bunch of light bulbs going off in that room, let me tell you. When they do their quiz that help them find out if they're a nerd and a free spirit, you can really share some stories, because maybe you are one or the other, or maybe you're both. Maybe you fell evenly in the scale, so you don't know where they may fall, but it's really fun to help them see that sometimes you're one and sometimes you're both. Do you need to read the recipe chapter and verse, or can you just wing it, if you're that kind of a person? And help them have those conversations, because next week we break it all down. What's really good right now is where you can start to tease week 4. We're going to be talking about cutting up credit cards. We're going to be talking about that all the way through coming up here, and you want to get them excited about the potential to not have credit card debt. To hear from Rachel, to show them tips on things that may or may not be working with them and their kids. Are they just funding things for their kids? Are they just handing them money? Are they making them work for it? Are they making it see? Are they teaching their children, gee, maybe I should start asking them to be doing things for free, and then I will pay them for the extras. Sometimes people will come up to you after class and they won't want to have opened their mouth for any of the questions when they read 1 through 3 or whatever, or when they do their nerd and free spirit. They won't share. But this is when they're going to start to ask you, like, so what's going to happen when? And be prepared for a little bit more after class chatter. If your location allows for it, please feel free, because they're going to want to start to figure out, like, what's it going to look like? They're starting to get the wheels are starting to get going, and the motor is revved up, and they're getting ready to get on board. You want to make sure you're answering their questions as if you have heard Dave recently, which I highly recommend that you tell your class to start listening to him. Find him on YouTube, find him on Instagram, download the podcast, radio, wherever they can find him, XM, Sirius, wherever he is, let them find them and start to hear how he talks on a regular basis beyond just their classes, because that's going to help them stay plugged in and help them stay engaged. So you want to make sure that you've kind of gone through all those. When you're answering the questions that they ask you, try and use your tools of knowing how Dave answers. That's going to help you feel more confident that you're not having to come up with the answer. Here's what Dave says. Here's what Dave says. Here's what I heard on the show. You know, there was a call like yours. So those are going to be ways that you can make sure that you're answering in a way that honors the baby steps and keeps people engaged in Financial Peace University. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you hitting the like button, the share button, the subscribe button. Hit them all. That would be great to have you here week after week. We love having you. And we will return to our regularly scheduled program of all things real estate here on this channel. But for now, we're taking this little detour and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.